Experience the epic series that the world is watching and raving about. Catch up or relive the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, now on HBO On Demand, and watch back-to-back episodes anytime on your schedule. This year, join the Legion of Followers and enjoy past seasons of Game of Thrones, plus the premiere of Season 4 on April 6th on HBO. Don't miss out. Sign up for HBO and get free access to HBO On Demand.
More than 30 workers left unemployed as Hard Rock Cafe closes its doors for good.
I was employed here for 10 years, and now today I'm walking out of here with nothing.
The police commissioner and national security minister defend the transparency of crime reporting. The commissioner not concerned about a spate of homicides on Grand Bahama, a suspected drowning at Potters Key Dock. We'll tell you how much money government needs to pull off a Bahamas carnival, and Sir Durward Knowles presents the Prime Minister with his latest book. We have those stories and more coming up tonight. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and MB12 starts right now. Joining us. More than 30 employees of Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Nassau are left jobless today after they learned the restaurant has closed its doors for good. About a dozen employees went to work this morning expecting a staff meeting, then business as usual, but received nothing but a parting notice as they were asked to evacuate the building.
I have to walk away without a job, without no notice. I came dressed for work this morning. Really disappointed. I thought we actually had a meeting based on the newspaper and the Guardian that they posted, but actually it was for us telling us that, hey guys, I'm sorry, you have to leave. It's really difficult for me to go and look for another job because I haven't been on an interview in about 7 years, and the way they did it, it was unprofessional, and I felt like they should have given us a warning that we all could have embraced ourselves to say, hey guys, we're closing within the next month, so we could be able to look for another job. So honestly, I feel disappointed, and I shed some tears this morning because, you know, I owe a lot of people. I owe my landlord, I owe my light bill and everything.
7-year employee Shamiko Cooper is now on the hunt for another job after learning the rock and roll themed restaurant was shutting down. Cooper and a group of other workers vented their frustration with the Bahamian franchise holder, Kevin Doyle, saying they were blindsided by the restaurant's closure. Yesterday, Guardian Business revealed that the future of the jobs of around 33 employees of Hard Rock Cafe was in question after a legal dispute between its Bahamian franchise holder and the parent company of the restaurant. Now, kitchen supervisor Giovanna Hanna says workers are left on their own.
We were being deceived from day one. I asked questions over and over. Are you guys closing? If so, let the employees know so you can make some kind of arrangement. But it seems like they just wanted to just close and pull out without giving us what is due. We have people here with children that are in private school, mortgage payment, bank payment, light bill, food bill. We need help. Prime Minister, we need help. You need to help your people.
According to a statement issued by Hard Rock International, the Nassau franchise agreement and the rights of its Nassau franchisee to operate under the Hard Rock brand were terminated on January 6th. Paul Andy Gomez of Grant Thornton has been appointed liquidator of the company. Meanwhile, workers say they will have to begin the hunt for a job when the pickings are slim.
Well, I guess now we have to look for new jobs, and as you guys know, jobs are tight right now. Atlanta's probably not hiring anybody. Bahama probably already recruited whoever they needed to do or whatever. You got school closing and everything, so it's going to be rough now, you know? Come on. And now we don't even know if we're going to get the money that is owed to us.
Workers say they have been informed they will have to wait until the liquidation process is complete before they can get their severance pay. Well, the nation's top crime officials today hit back at criticism of the Royal Bahamas Police Force's crime reports. Questions arose over what is or is not included in those crime reports after the United States Embassy made public a crime that was not included in daily reports issued by police. Dana Smith has that story.
Both National Security Minister Bernard Nonage and Commissioner of Police Ellison Greenslade today defending the integrity of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Both men said anyone who would question the crime statistics or the reporting of crime would be misleading and ridiculous.
That is such a ridiculous assertion. Cover up by who?
It's just reports, allegations. We just want to get your response.
That is a ridiculous assertion, and those who make those types of assertions, for whatever reason, really ought to stop.
The minister's comments come after Assistant Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson rejected an apparent discrepancy between a recent U.S. Embassy crime warning and local police reports. The U.S. Embassy referenced an attempted armed robbery of an armored truck at Wendy's restaurant in Cable Beach, an incident that was not communicated to the public by crime reports. Ferguson said there is never a case where police seek to cover up any information that ought to come to the attention of the Bahamian people. However, Deputy Chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, who has previously questioned the consistency of crime statistics in the past, said this matter creates room for speculation. He said, quote, "What Bahamians ought to be asking ultimately is who is determining what ought to come to the attention of the Bahamian people." The Commissioner of Police today said he is totally embarrassed, distressed, and offended by the matter. He called on the public to trust the police force.
I am totally embarrassed, totally distressed, totally offended. Whatever terminology you would wish to use to indicate to our people in this country how I feel about that, in terms of the general sentiments. I don't speak to the U.S. Embassy, I speak to our people. I have no comments to offer to the U.S. Embassy. I speak to our people. You are going to have to repose some confidence in your own people. We are your sons and daughters, and we live in a beautiful country. Please, I beg you, stop selling the Bahamas short. I have a difficulty with that. And I'm not sure what that agenda is, because it must be an agenda, and it's not a good agenda.
Greenslade said there is something terribly wrong with the conversation. He said the force is a good organization, and he noted the force communicates its crime reports daily.
We are decent people, we are hardworking, committed people, we turn up every day, and we give you 110%. I believe that we need to take another look at this. Stop asking the Commissioner questions that we already know the answers for. I come to you with credibility, a spirit of transparency and openness.
The Commissioner asked the public for its support as the force continues to work to fight crime, and he called on the media to give the public the right information. He warned anything being said that is not properly verified with the Commissioner is out of order.
What is being said that is not properly verified with this Commissioner is out of order. No other person reserves the right to speak for me unless I brief them. And those people that I brief are my Minister of National Security and the Right Honorable Prime Minister of this country. Anyone else is offering an opinion, and the public would do very well to be careful with those opinions.
This was not the first time the embassy had issued a warning, including crimes that have not been reported to the public by police. Back in November, the embassy had warned of machete-wielding assailants robbing American visitors. And in February, the consistency of crime statistics came under scrutiny after Princess Margaret Hospital records showed more people were treated for gunshot injuries than the number of shootings listed in police statistics. At the time, Greenslade had explained police and hospital records will never be the same, and he stood by the figures he presented. Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
On the heels of a recent spate of killings in Grand Bahama, the police commissioner says the force has no concerns about what's taking place, as police are on the ground doing work. Yesterday, 2 men were shot and killed near Adventurers Way just hours apart. And last Saturday, a 15-year-old girl was shot and killed around 3 a.m. after leaving a nightclub in King Subdivision. The commissioner says arrests have been made in 2 of the incidents while investigations continue in the other matter, which he described as a retaliatory killing.
No concerns about anything happening in Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama has recorded murders in recent times. 2 persons have been arrested in 2 of those separate murder cases. In one case, the weapon was recovered. There is an outstanding retaliatory matter that is being pursued where another person has lost his life. And so I'm satisfied that work is being done, good work in Grand Bahama, and we'll see if we can sort those things out as soon as we can.
Noting the public's calls for better screenings at nightclubs following the death of 15-year-old Alexis Smith over the weekend, Green Slate says it's not just limited to clubs. There are wider issues affecting the nation and the nation's youth that need to be addressed.
It's not just a matter of club owners. I don't want to be put in a position where I have to tell lies to the public. Children underage are drinking in our homes. They're drinking in our vehicles as we drive the streets. They're drinking in our clubs. They can go to places that they shouldn't go. They do it at all sorts of ungodly hours. This is not a secret, well known to all of us. And so one incident now, this latest incident, brings it into focus. But it's a much bigger conversation. There's a much bigger conversation about disorder, about disrespect.
Well, a 24-year-old woman is dead following an overnight shooting in Yellow Elder, according to police. Officials say around 2 a.m., the victim, along with other family members, was at her old Cedar Street home when several gunshots were fired through the bedroom window. The victim was hit multiple times and transported to hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. Family members identified the victim as Launis Roll. Neighbors in the area said they were shocked by the incident and described Roll as a kind and quiet young woman. Neighbors also claimed she was engaged to be married. This makes the 28th murder for the year and the 5th murder in 4 days. Police are investigating a suspected drowning after a woman's body was pulled from waters off Potters Key Dock this morning. The victim's daughter was inconsolable when she arrived on the scene. Superintendent Stephen Dean says police were notified of a body floating in waters between two boats off the eastern end of Potters Key Dock around 10 this morning. But police suspect the woman has been in the water since last night.
The body was retrieved from the waters, taken to shore, was pronounced dead by EMS personnel. At this point, we do not know the identity of the body. We do not know the identity of the person. We are seeking information from members of the public, and our officers are on the ground doing some investigation. We believe that very shortly we should be able to determine who the person is based on the information that we are getting in now.
The victim is believed to be in her late 30s or 40s. However, her identity has not yet been released. A family friend says the victim was a straw vendor and a very nice person.